Welcome, Solara here. I hope you guys are doing well. I haven't done a video on YouTube for a couple of days, so I'm here. I hope you guys are ready. I have some downloads. I'm going to pull some cards. Grab a drink. Grab your favorite beverage. I want to welcome all of my newest subscribers. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for those of you who've returned. I thank you guys so much for all of your support in helping my channel grow. We reached 4K, I think 2 days ago, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. Thank you for your likes, your comments. Thank you for sharing the messages. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for the support of my writing. Thank you for the support of the Daily Alchemy members portal. Thank you for the support of my services. I appreciate each and every one of you. I have taken a few days off because I recorded 2 videos. I did record 2 videos, and my guides told me to leave it alone, because there were some very, very, very heavy downloads that started to stream in for me, like right after the full moon in Leo, and a lot of it was concerning the message, the 2 messages that I had left you guys with last Friday. The ones about breaking oaths and vows, specifically for many of you, it was a religious entity. And that story began to unfold a little bit more. And I began to realize that what we were dealing with is not like, although that reading may have really spoken to you on a personal level, it's actually a collective breaking free that has been occurring recently around a lot of religious entities, let's put it that way, that were tied to various institutions that were harvesting. I mean, how else to put it? I don't know how else to put it. I'm not going to go too deep into it today. I did a message about it. I did on Monday, and it was a video that, again, was over an hour long, but it was quite heavy. And I feel like the energy was a little bit scattered, and there was a lot of opposition that I felt. And I don't feel like it was my best work. If you guys really want me to post it, I will. But for now, I think I'm just going to let it sit. But it's interesting because these downloads are coming at me because they're showing a bigger picture. So let's begin with what it is I have for you. First message coming through is that, where is it? Someone shortened their own lifespan trying to throw magic at you on this full moon. Someone shortened their own lifespan trying to throw shit at you this past full moon in Leo. And not only have they shortened their own lifespan, but I heard that every time they continue to try and throw this type and caliber of magic at you, they lose more time. So they're shortening their own life expectancy every time they throw shit at you. And at the moment, I heard that this person, and they're not too old, this particular person, I heard they have until 2026. And I heard in that timeline is getting shorter for every time they try to fuck with your timeline. Because what this person is doing, they're using some kind of Saturnian and Uranian energy. That's one of many things they're doing. But this time factor of fucking with your time and taking chances with their time, what they're doing is they're messing with some kind of Saturnian magic that's designed to bind you in a timeline, as this stuff always is, or to freeze you in time, bind you in some way, in a way they can control your timelines. And because it's backfiring, and because it's such an intense working, what's actually happening is that they're losing time. They're losing their own time. And the thing about this magic is whatever they're doing, it's very erratic. And this is because they're using chaos energy. They're using many things, right? But one thing that was coming up was also this Uranian energy, this wanting to bring about like unexpected sudden changes in your life that kind of bring towers, which is now backfiring on them. So it's a really fucked up energy that they're trying to send at you. And in its backfiring, it's like the way it's presenting for them is that it's, like I said, it's stealing their time, and it's doing it in ways also that is going to bring a lot of chaos. A lot of unexpected sudden things are about to start happening if they haven't already started happening for this person, because that Uranian energy is backfiring too. What I was also shown is this person is using some kind of like deep, like forest, jungle, not forest, jungle magic, okay? And for some of you, it's like they've linked up with practitioners in certain places in the world. The download I was getting was somewhere in Central Africa, the Central African continent. Like they've gone back to like the cradle of ancient magic. Like Central Africa is where like, you know, like certain cultures, you know, in the Caribbean and in South America, etc., with the Atlantic slave trade, they brought over a lot of their traditions, but it became they had to practice these things in a way where they wouldn't upset their slave masters. So, like voodoo is a religion. It's not black magic. I want to clarify that because I hear that so much, people talking about voodoo. This person did voodoo. It is not necessarily all dark. It is actually a religious practice with darker aspects, but it's very, very powerful because of where it came from. In fact, the nation of Haiti, the only reason it got its independence was because of their connection with the land and the territorial spirits and how they used that against the French. But my point is that the birthplace, the origin, and the power of this magic for a lot of them came from Central Africa. It was the cradle of that form of magic, okay? There's someone here who's reconnecting with that energy, that ancient energy, the energy that precedes voodoo, that precedes Santeria, that precedes, you know, a lot of these religious practices that we hear a lot about that are very potent in their own right. There's someone here messing with that, messing with the planets, messing with their lives. And this energy that they've been sending at you has been designed to cause such mental confusion and fuckery. I did a video at the beginning of the year, and it was called about how someone was using a brain or a brain candle or the model of a brain in order to manipulate someone through spell work and mind control. I'm getting a very similar energy here. There's something here about how once upon a time, this person had control over your energy, but they also had control over your mind and the ways that you thought. And there was something about causing you to self-destruct that was helping them to gain something materially. It's how they harvested off of you. And we know, if you've been watching my videos, that the only real way to harvest from a person is if you're able to manipulate their energy. And the only way you can manipulate and control a person is if they stay in the lower vibrational frequencies of, let me grab the trusty vibrational scale for those of you who aren't aware. The only way you can keep a person, you can control, the best way to control, I should say, is by keeping a person cycling through shame, guilt, apathy, fear, maybe hit desire and take them back down again and keep them circling and cycling through these energies. That's the energy they want to get you stuck in karmic loops, right? There's something about keeping you in a very self-destructive mode and making you think that it was you that enabled this person to to monetize off of that. But what's interesting here is that this isn't just this is someone who's inherited this, okay? There was very strong, very strong father-daughter energy coming through here. My guides kept giving me so many different things. I'm guessing it's all going to come together because this story is very interesting. So this younger person who's shortening their own lifespan every time they try to send you this magic at this point is part of a clan. And they were very specific with that word. It might be a society or secret society, but they use the word clan. And then they said clandestine. And I went to look it up. And the word clan means a group having a common ancestor. And in a lot of dictionaries, it speaks specifically of its Scottish connection, which is very interesting because a lot of these societies, they have their genesis in a lot of in quite a few of these nations, namely Scotland, Ireland, Britain. You know, a lot of the original members of these orders, which originally were not necessarily what they are now. Their heritage came from these countries, and indeed, Ireland showed up again. Clandestine, there is something here. This person has done something that's not officially allowed. Now, I can't tell yet if they've done something that's not officially allowed, like it's not officially allowed, it's definitely not officially allowed by universal law. We'll just put it out there. I don't know if what they've done is recognizable here on this plane, because sometimes when you're dealing with magic and spirituality, it's a hard thing to go in a court of law and testify, right? That's what makes it really difficult. Now, the thing about it is whatever group they're attached to, definitely physical law is broken. I don't know about this specific person, okay? For some of you, this is a sibling or this is a cousin, okay? And it's a sibling and your dad, or it's your cousin and an uncle. Take it as it resonates, okay? This sibling or cousin, I'm getting strong female vibes. It feels like they've been a bully their whole lives. My guides kept on giving me these songs. And there were a few songs they gave me. They gave me Ghetto Superstar, which was a song with Old Dirty Bastard, Pras from the Fugees, and Mya, which came out in 1998. So there's something about the 1998 timeline. I'll get into that in a minute. They gave me, that led to the original song that was sampled for that, for Ghetto Superstar, which was a song written by the Bee Gees, but released and performed by Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton on August 15th, 1983. It had its release. It was called Islands in the Stream. Okay. Then they gave me another song, which I will link below. Maybe I'll try to find all of these videos and link them below and see if you guys get any messages, if this is your message. It's called Too Young, and it's by a young British singer and songwriter. Her name is Grace Davies, and she was on the show The X Factor in 2017. I don't know if she won. I don't remember, but she came on and she was an original songwriter and caused a little bit of ruckus because she was very adamant to perform her own stuff or whatever. But the point is, and that's going to come up later, this energy too, but the point is that her song, it's called Too Young. It kept on returning. And so I started to look at the lyrics. I'm going to share the lyrics with you guys, and the main ones that we're speaking in this reading. So it goes, when you were young, everyone said, you're just like your father. You didn't know your own strength. You've taken some blows, so you just hit harder. And I was a girl who stood in the playground. I needed a friend to find a way out. I did what you said. I was easily led, but I got my karma. So tell me, how come everybody says that you should live with no regrets, but everyone has done some things I bet they want to forget? And I was too young to know better, too young to put it right. I know it ain't big, it ain't clever, so why did I play with fire? We were out of control, ended up getting burnt. If only I'd known at the time, too young to know better, and it's been forever. So can we draw a line? Oh, I didn't see all of these lyrics. When I was young, everyone said, I'm just like my mother. Storm out the room or stay for the show. It's all part of the drama. This person is a person who, I don't feel like they are necessarily drama queens outwardly. I feel like wherever they go, drama follows. We both said some things that we didn't mean. Feels like they're carved in stone in me. This person holds a lot of resentment and unforgiveness. A lot of envy and jealousy was coming through. Something to do with you or another person, if this is your sibling or your cousin, and feeling threatened in some way. He knows what buttons to press. I should have left if I was smarter. So there's something here about this person, whether this is a cousin or a sibling, who they have this complex concerning the relationship with their dad or your dad. Take it as it resonates. It's almost like they have so much of they have such low self-worth that they attached, they're still looking for, or when they signed up for this, they were still looking for like fatherly approval. That's what it is. This is what led them to do things that have led to this place where they're doing stuff that apparently is not officially allowed by this clan. And what I'm really getting here is that it's like this person is utilizing whatever access they have in this clan magically to work against you, but now they've taken it outside of that too, because they haven't gotten the effects of what they want and they're growing desperate. Because for some of you, what was coming through is this person is not a fully fledged member. At whatever level they're trying to get into, they're not fully fledged, like they haven't fully unlocked something, and so this is kind of a big deal. So the line, the lyric that was really coming to me when I listened to this is, I know it ain't big, it ain't clever. So there's something about this person knows that whatever they're doing is foolish. It's probably not clever, but they're taking their chances, and they're still choosing to play with fire. And they still chose to play with fire. Like there came a point on this person's journey where they've been shown that they needed to stop, but they kept on pushing. They keep on pushing. Okay. And so now it's, they're out of control with this. Okay. For some people, what I was picking up is like, there's another person involved here. There's a love interest involved, for this person, this younger person who has gotten in way over their heads when it comes to dealing with these energies and entities. Okay, I'm going to give you some of the downloads I've been receiving, not in detail, just because maybe it's going to help you get an idea for your own story. But this is a bigger picture, because whatever this person is doing that they've gotten you or whoever you're thinking about involved in, it's connected to bigger, greater energies that have great global influence. It's like there are leaders here. There are leaders here. So this person, what I heard was like following daddy's dirty footsteps. That's what they said. And that they're insanely jealous. Okay. And I want you to know, like, because sometimes, especially with like divine beings, as we're waking up and you start to learn that people have this kind of envy in their heart towards you, because so much of your life you may have been feeling like you were a burden or you were worthless, because that's the narrative they fed you. A lot of the time when people say that someone's envious or jealous of you, you might think, oh my gosh, well, I don't see why this person has this, they have that, they have this access, they have, you know, they drive this car, they live in this place, they're with this person, you know, they travel all the time, all of this stuff that externally it seems to be like they have it made, right? But they don't have whatever it is you have. And that's a hard thing sometimes for us to get, because we don't realize that, we don't realize the fullness of our own value. We don't realize the light we carry and how it elicits so much envy. I remember like growing up, and I remember certain people just taking things from me, and it's like I didn't have, I didn't have much of something, but someone would feel like it was okay to take the last of it. And I never got why. And it continued throughout adulthood. It's like every time I had just one nice thing going on in my life, someone felt the need to take it. Like, you're not allowed to have any good thing in your life, okay? And this is an energy that was coming up with this also. Whoever this is affecting, whether it's you or someone else you know, this person not only was trying to drive you to complete and utter self-destruction, and again, that energy of unaliving oneself, okay? They were also trying to make sure that you never were able to access love. And this is where a lot of this stuff is being broken and it's being returned to them, is because although this person may have gotten in the way of a lot of your ability, or they may have gotten in the way of like divine partnerships or your romantic realities, but what they weren't betting on was you falling so deeply in love with yourself. And this ultimately is what is breaking the spell, because while it's beautiful to share that divine love with another, in order to access your own stargate, which is your own heart, in order to do that, you have to be resonating at this frequency of love, right? And oftentimes the way through is through accessing love. And it can be for another, but the real power comes from loving self, because it's only by loving self that you can love someone else. And this is the part of the puzzle that it seems that they also miss. There's something here about this person, this people, this group. They really thought that in order for something in your life to unlock, right, it had to be about you being with someone else. And ultimately, you might end up, this might be part of your destiny. You might be one of those people who has a divine partner who's supposed to get with this person to, and your coming together is going to birth something that is specific for this new earth, okay? That doesn't take that off the table. But the point is that this person thought like that was the only way for you to get free or to get access to whatever it is that they've been putting blockages and distortions towards you reaching, when really all it is that you actually needed to access was love for yourself, which helps you to unlock your divinity. This person is so pissed off that you were able to do that. And in doing that, it's like close the door on what it was they were doing. They thought they were so smart. They thought if they could just mess up your love life and because for many of you, there's like shunning and repulsing energy that's been around you and all manner of other things. They really thought that if they could keep you in a state of being alone, that you wouldn't be able to access divinely what's yours, and they'd be able to continue to take. And that's not the case. So for many of you, if this reading is resonating with you, you're not yet with your divine partner, but you've done such an incredible amount of healing that you're already unlocking certain doors that will ultimately lead to that too. And this is not what this person was banking on, this person or group, okay? There's something here about certain locations, okay? Port-au-Prince, Haiti, Baltimore, Maryland, or the DC metro area, New York, and California, Southern California. There's some kind of triangular trade going on here, whereby 1983, 1988, February 1988, specifically February the 4th, 1988, if we're even more specific, was the date that I was given. February 4th, 1988. So 1983, 1988, 1998. Yeah, those 3 years, there's something about that. And this idea of like a triangular trade that's happening between these spaces. And this is the bigger energy, the energy that this person is doing this for, that they may or may not be aware of, if that makes sense. So there's something big about those dates and this higher organization. Let's put it that way. But there's also something about these dates and this higher organization, this organization that's higher than the one that this person is pledging to. There's something about these dates and this higher organization that relates to you directly and some kind of access that was obtained. So for some of you, this isn't going to be this person that gave access to you through these years. Okay, so for some of you, it might be all those dates. For some of you, it's one. For some of you, these dates aren't going to be important, but take it as it resonates. Okay. There is something here about 1998 and wanting to reopen that specific timeline. It's wanting to reopen that timeline for you, but there's something globally that's happening where there's a need to reopen that timeline. And when I say reopen the timeline, please understand and overstand that the powers that were and are still clinging on with their cold, dead hands, for dear life. 111 on my clock. The powers that were, just like these people have been assigned to have you looping through a karmic timeline, these so-called higher powers have been invested in keeping us collectively looping again and again through certain energies. It's one of the reasons why you see certain things, like certain trends occur. So for example, you'll see at certain times a certain, fashion-wise, everything in the culture is about this specific time in history, this year, and then all of the music is sampled from that time. What it is it's reopening the timeline for those who have lived in that time. And it's also almost like it's pulling the people who have been born since then and were not actually alive in that timeline. It's like pulling them into it too, if that makes sense. So for example, in the past few years, 90s R&B was really big, right? Especially a few years ago. And everyone was sampling it. And so what that was doing was it was reopening an old timeline for those of us who lived at that time. But for those of us who might have children, for example, who weren't alive in the 90s, it was an attempt also to lock them in certain energies that they opened at that time. And they utilized the energy of getting people stuck in a lower timeline by reopening the energies surrounding that timeline, if that makes sense. Okay, so there's something right now about that 1998 timeline. So when I went online and found out some very interesting things that were happening in 1998, but I'm not going to comment on them. I've been told not to comment on them. Okay, so there have been involvement from some very, very big institutions linked to higher ups in organized. So whoever this bigger organization is that has been needing these other smaller societies to do certain things in order to then feed them, they are very, they're higher ups in organized religion. And it's like these other societies and orders provide them with sacred energy, sacral energy. Yes, there are a few names that were coming up. So there's Grace, Mya, David, Michael, Michelle. Take that as it resonates. That name might be of significance to you, or it might not be. They were telling me there's something that's happening right now with this the sibling or cousin and the father figure, whether it's your father or your uncle or whoever it is you're thinking about. Everything that they're touching, it's turning to sand. It's turning to ash. And the thing about it is that it's like the opposite of the Midas touch. But the thing about it is that they wanted that for you. They were invested in having you in like Five of Pentacles mode all the time. And now it's coming back to them even worse. Even worse. And then I was also seeing like a, one of those old school egg timers with sand. I'm seeing it like almost out. Almost done. The other song that they showed me was The Chorus. And it was from their album, Talk on Corners. And there's a lot of talking going on concerning whatever it is that this person, who is a sibling or a cousin, they have not passed. They've been doing something not officially allowed in order to get into a certain level, and they're failing. And there's a lot of talk within not only the society, but also within the clan or family that they're coming from, because I'm getting the feeling that this is not just like a father, daughter, uncle, cousin scenario. This is why they showed me the word clan also. This is something that has been passed on generationally. And this is why this cousin or this sibling, like following daddy's dirty footsteps, it's like they have this insecurity where they have to prove themselves because it's like part of a family tradition. And this person, the other energy I'm getting, like I said, they were a bully. They got this bullying energy, very narcissistic energy, but they're used to getting what they want. It's almost like they've been spoiled by this father figure, whether it's your cousin or your uncle. They've had a lot of their ego. It's not that they've been spoiled per se, but they've had a lot of their ego massaged or stroked to believe that they can do this, or that they're within their right to do it, or that it's even their birthright in some way, shape, or form. And as such, the more that what's driving them to continue doing it is the complete disbelief that they're not able to. Because in their mind, it's like they're right. They are entitled to your destruction and dysfunction in order to have something that ultimately they're stealing from you through siphoning your energy. And it's very specific. It's sacral energy. Okay. There's something here with a bastard child, quote unquote bastard child, a child that's been born out of wedlock. And so for me, this language is showing me that it's not of this generation. There's some kind of significance there for some of you, like whether it's actually that you were the child or the person you're thinking about who was treated like that, like they weren't part of the family, like they were some kind of outcast, or whether that's even coming by way of, the father or other family members, or there's some kind of narrative of complete rejection that has opened the door for this kind of energy, because these entities, these spirits that like are ultimately at the helm of all of this energy, they target those who have like deep rejection and abandonment wounds. It's why as divine beings we are told, we are guided, I should say, to heal ourselves, because if we don't, we become more susceptible to these energies. We're still human beings. We still have ego, we still have woundings, we still have, a shadow. But the point is that if we are not healing, we give room for these energies to like lurk and hide and, bunk in our energetic fields and not even be aware, because the main energy, and this is where we come back to this person, the main energy that these entities actually love more than anything, more than like wickedness and murder and all this other stuff, they just like a person who's in denial of their darkness. Because for as long as you're in denial of your darkness, what they're looking to hide in is your darkness. And a person who is constantly denying and repressing isn't really checking and seeing what's in there. They're just pushing it aside, pressing it down, not wanting to deal. And that's the perfect place for an entity to hide out. It's actually in denial of these energies. And oftentimes these kinds of people that we're dealing with, they have this superiority complex, which is really rooted in inferiority, where they don't believe themselves capable of certain things. I'm not capable of hating someone. I'm not capable of doing this. It's just my right to do this. Like they make up all manner of, like, I don't fully get their psychology a lot of the time, but it's like they really think they're above being human, and so they separate themselves in that way. So it's like an effrontery for them to even begin to think that they can house certain things, or that they could be jealous, because they like to walk around and act like they're so much better than other people, when really that in and of itself is a spirit of envy. Because if you're really okay with yourself, you don't need to put somebody else down to feel good, right? So that really is the spirit of envy. And because they never want to see that in themselves, they want to instead point the finger and say, well, this person actually, they're talking about me and they're acting this way because they're so jealous of me. Look at everything I have and all this other shit. Like, that's what's important to everyone. You get what I'm saying? And so a lot of the time, this is why entities love to hide out in those kinds of people, because they're completely in denial of their own darkness and they refuse to do any kind of healing. So the song that was coming up was What Can I Do? By the Chorus. And this is a song is like, what can I do to make you love me? What can I do to make you care? What can I do to make you feel this? What can I do to get you there? And this is where it gets, we have again a triangle. So we have this triangular trade, and then we have this triangle that I want to touch on very briefly. And that is that this person is involved in some kind of a romantic relationship that has to do with this society activity. But the interesting thing about it is what links this person, this cousin or sibling, to this person that they are romantically tied with, it is their father wounds. So it's like there's some kind of connection between the three. But here's the thing, it's like this person is facing some kind of rejection right now from both their father and their romantic partner. And it's like this is where that triangle energy comes in that I'm seeing, because the what can I do energy is like, it's almost like this person has done so much to try and get their father's approval, and they've dug themselves a hole that they can't get out of. And now it's feeling like they're not getting the father's approval. Especially if this father is part of this society or organization, which I'm getting because it was like following daddy's dirty footsteps. There's some kind of connection here within not only the father-daughter, father-son, and I'm getting more of a female energy here, but it could be either or. It's deeper than just the relationship and disappointing the father because of, that relationship. It's something to do also with this order. Okay. And it's something to do with ancestry and the fact that the family has done this for many generations or whatever. Okay. This might have to do with this person's romantic interest might be of Irish descent. They or you might be of Irish descent. There's some kind of connection with Irish Catholicism. What else? What else? What else? What else? So yeah, there's something here about everything falling apart for this person, both with the false integrity of the relationship they had with their father, and now also the relationship they have with this romantic interest, because this romantic interest is also tied to the shit they've been doing through this order. Okay? And this person is rejecting them now too because of their failure to do what it is that they had to do, which is connected to you. There's something here also about music, something being stolen musically. There's something here about this person being involved in like magic of King Solomon, so like working with goetic energies. And that's when you, a lot of the time, people who work with that energy like to bind demons to do their bidding. There's some kind of triangular trade. I'm going to go back to that this, whatever it is that they're doing, is feeding. It's a bigger harvesting project, let's put it that way. And their whole point is to teach certain people, not teach them, but to mess with them in order to put them in states in various degrees of poverty or dependence. So you can look at that from a global level, right? I won't go too much into that. Or you can look at that from a personal level and what it is they're doing for you. Remember, energy works as a macrocosm within a microcosm, within a macrocosm, within a larger macrocosm, within a larger macrocosm. So whatever it is they're enacting on individuals, especially ritualistically, it's oftentimes to make sure that something happens on a larger scale until it becomes a global phenomenon. So think about it this way. This energy was designed to control all of your resources. And when you think about it on a global level, ultimately, what those ones at the top of the pyramid want to do is control the world's resources. So all of this is interconnected and interlinked. And this is where I want to take you to the really cool download I had. Because I feel like for some of you, you did some work following the video I did with the breaking the oaths and the vows, right? Connected to these entities. Because what I was seeing someone with the body, their body was like, it was like I was having an aerial view of someone, and their body was like a map, like a living map. And what I was seeing was, it was almost like your womb energy or your sacral energy was like becoming a storm. And then it was almost like it was a Bermuda triangle energy again. It was like the Bermuda Triangle, and it was almost like, bear with me now, it was almost like within your womb energy were the seas. And the seas were pissed because there were all of these boats and all of this marine energy, merchant energy on your seas that you did not give clearance for. And so it was almost like the Bermuda Triangle in the sense that there was like a vortex that started there was a storm and then a vortex. And then all of a sudden, all of those boats, those merchants, all of them that were illegally on your seas were sucked into this vortex, and then the waters became calm again. And so what my guides were showing me is it was a closing down of ports and waterways to marine entities, spirits, and energies trying to steal sacred energy in order to manipulate or control it. They were completely shipwrecked. That's what they showed me. And for those of you who are interested, I just did for my daily alchemy members portal, I just posted it today, a light language activation that I channeled in order to take control again of your own sacred energy. And I did an accompanying decree that you can either speak out yourself using those words. It's a very long document, or you can use it as inspiration to write your own. And Spirit gave this to me for people to use together, the decree and the light language activation together. But if you don't want to use the decree in my words, and you can write them in your own words, but it's an idea of what it is that we're being called to do at this time. If you were feeling a little bit nervous about covering all bases, let's put it that way. I channeled it today and I wrote it out, and it was 10 Instagram slides. I think when I condense it down into like a PDF, it might be 4 or 5 pages, or maybe 3 to 4 pages. I don't know at this point. But if you're interested in that, I'm going to post information as to how you can get either a copy of the decree or a copy of the light language activation, or both. It will be for a small donation, and then I will send it to you. So I'll give you all that information. I'll put it up in the community section, but I wanted to let you know it's the decree and the activation are for those of you who really are confident in the fact that you're walking in divine alignment. And I'm going to leave it at that because it's powerful. And if you're not walking, let's put it this way, this is how my guides have shown it to me. If you're not, then everything is going to come in order to put you in that place. And sometimes that means towers and all manner of things. And not everyone wants that to get into divine alignment down that road. Sometimes we want to take our time and to get there with a little bit more ease. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Looky here what we have, the Hanged Man. This is Pisces energy. So in the tarot, like right after we have the Wheel of Fortune turning, then we have Justice coming. So now it's like the scales are being balanced. And after the scales are balanced, it's almost like going to a court of law. Then you get the sentencing. And this is kind of execution. Hanged Man. This is the energy of one who's also stuck. This is the energy of someone who's also been placed in this position in order to start to see things the right way around. To turn them upside down in order to see things the right way around, because clearly everything that they've been thinking, seeing, experiencing, standing upright was back to front anyway. The Hangman energy is also Pisces energy. So for some of you, there's something significant coming up with Pisces season. Okay, a lot of this stuff might begin playing out for you in Pisces season as we close out the astrological year. Another thing I was getting is that for this person that we've been speaking about, this person is being given, as annoying as a lot of this stuff is, every single thing that happens to us is an opportunity for us to access our divine truth and walk in it. So everything this person's going through, even though a lot of it is backlash by their own hand, 1:33 on the clock, it's still a mercy call. It's still an opportunity for them to stop and heal. You get what I'm saying? So they're about to be put in a position with this Hangman energy where they will be helpless to be able to move forward, doing the things that they've done to you. And last week, an energy that was coming out also was this idea of someone who is building a gallows for you and not realizing the whole time that it's actually about to be their hanging post. Okay, we do have Two of Pentacles. This person Again, Pentacles energy, sorry, the Two of Pentacles energy is Capricorn energy. So you see that this is being on very, very stormy waters. And the Two of Pentacles is interesting because it's like the beginning of agreements and contracts actualizing on the earth plane. So there's something about the beginning of this contract for them, the Hanged Man position. Something about, okay, so what I'm getting is there's something about whatever they did around this full moon that has messed with, you know, your timeline. It's not only bringing in the energy of shortening their own life expectancy, but it's also bringing in a new timeline. The new timeline that they're trying to keep you out of, it's almost like they solidified it coming in for you through this fuckery. For many of you, the attacks that they've had you wanting to be unstable in specifically has to do with work and career. And Capricorn energy, funnily enough, even though it is technically feminine energy, Capricorn, because it rules the 10th house, it actually has to do with our relationship with our fathers. So that's interesting that that comes out again. Okay, so yeah, look, I mean, it feels like here they were trying to keep you in illusion. Keep you feeling like all your cups were half empty, feeling like constantly like you were a few slices short of a loaf. Well, it seems like this tower moment is about to bring a lot of clarity for everyone. It's already bringing clarity for you, but it's about to, this person is actually the one in illusion. The more they try to put obstacles on your path and keep you stuck in mental confusion, the more it's actually backfiring and causing them to be stuck in deeper illusion. Because I've said this before, I'll say it again, a lot of the time, these people are so arrogant that they're not able to accept that what it is they're doing isn't working. They're not able to surrender. They're not able to back down. And it's because they actually believe they can win. But that in and of itself is divine judgment. That the inability to tune into their intuition and to recognize and realize when things aren't working out for them, that in and of itself is divine judgment. That in and of itself is the divine allowing them to create, to build their own gallows thinking it's for you. Who was it in the Bible that did this? Wasn't it Haman that did that? Built the gallows for Esther and ended up he ended up being hung in them? I believe it was Haman. And now I'm hearing the name Hamish, which is Scottish. Yeah, we have 9 of Pentacles here. We have 9 of Pentacles, which is Virgo energy, but then we also have the Strength card, which is Leo energy. So we have Pisces, Scorpio, we have very strong Mars energy. There's something coming into war on your behalf. And indeed, for many of you, that's what that download was about with the storm. You have like, you have so much, not only protection, you have forces and energies that are avenging the shit. And some of them are nature energies, storm deities, ocean and sea deities. 9 of Pentacles here, okay? So this person felt like they really did believe that they were sitting in this 9 of Pentacles energy and that they were stable. And in order to keep you out of this 9 of Pentacles energy, they were the ones bringing towers. But now it's about to be flipped around because we have the Strength card at the bottom. This is the energy of someone who has tamed the very beast that's been sent to destroy them, right? And this is a big energy right now. Like, not for nothing, and maybe I'll talk about this, you know, because these were part of the downloads that I was receiving, but there are a lot. This full moon in Leo exposed, unearthed, and evicted a lot of entities and energies that had been hiding. Because when you think about it, that's the point of all of the light of the sun and the moon working together. And that's exactly what occurred. And as such, you have those energies dismantling, but you also have people fucking around with them and sending them to you. But you also have these entities jumping and trying to find new hosts, etc. And so some of these energies were sent to you. They were sent to you courtesy of the full moon in Leo energy that they tried to use against you. And I've said this before in an earlier video, and I'll say it again because it feels like it's getting stronger. Every time these energies or entities, they send them into your midst, all they're doing is helping you unlock deeper levels of the information that they're trying to hide from you. That's what's happening. Like some of you are straight up being sent entities that you're sitting down and you're entertaining. And when I say you're entertaining them, you're not giving them command of your vessel, or you're not using them against people, but you're sitting them down and you're being like, okay, so what are you here today to share with me? Let me get a cup of tea. Would you like a cup of tea? Let's sit down and chat. Let's chit chat. What are you here for? What have you been up to? What have you been doing? What have you been doing for millennia? What have you been doing the past few years? Who sent you? What's their agenda? What state are they in right now? Like literally, they're sending them to you to be interviewed. This person is about to be single if they're not already. Something's been exposed. Yeah, something's been exposed here with the sun at the bottom of the deck. Something's been exposed. We have the High Priestess and the Three of Pentacles coming out. Something's been exposed about everyone that they've been working with in this. And this is trouble for them. This is trouble. Oh, 1 second. This is trouble for them. This is trouble for them. And what they were showing me is that the reason for the exposure that's coming out, it's not even just exposure like externally, it's exposure within their society. They're being exposed and everything that they've been doing. Because remember I said there's something about this person's been doing stuff that is not even allowed by this society, because they've grown so desperate that it's like they're seeking external help, and all of this is being unraveled in real time before this society. And this is partly why they're losing ground, not only with the father figure, but this is also what's causing the altercation with the romantic interest. Because I heard with the Nine of Pentacles, when I was looking at it just now, I heard that someone's about to be single. Someone's about to be single. Someone's about to be barren. I heard that just now. I don't mean to be, you know, like, that's not something I wish upon anyone, but this is the energy they were sending to you. They were harnessing your sacral energy in order to feed other sacred entities. And for some of you, they've been doing this for lifetimes. This is why I picked up this energy last weekend. And not only that, but some of them have been like harvesting your energy in order to feed someone else's musical ambitions. And so now they're about to be barren in more ways than one, because they have no sacral energy. They're an empty vessel. They've been relying on yours. They've been relying on yours and then giving access to others. Like what I was seeing in the in spirit was also like almost like pipelines that were connected to some of you, your sacral energies, like literal pipelines. There were people on your seas, and there were pipelines etherically pumping like your stuff to other people. And this person was giving access, and this person gladly did it because they were so insanely jealous that they actually liked to see you destroyed. It gave them pleasure. It's what they're showing me with the Sun card. It gave them pleasure. It fed that part of their inner child that they refused to look at. It fed that inner child wound where they always felt I'm not getting that this person was overlooked. I'm getting again that this person had a massaged ego. But this person, it's like they've always felt entitled, again, to have what was yours. Like, remember I was saying that was an energy that I dealt with. Like, this is what I'm picking up on now. It's like the energy of somebody or certain people who just always felt entitled to take every good thing you ever get. 144 on my clock. So they felt entitled to do so. They feel entitled to do so. And actually, some of them are seething. Like, how dare you stand up for yourself? How dare you choose to reclaim your power? How dare you cut me off from your energy supply? Again, it's that energy again of like people with a God complex, which again is rooted in that spirit of envy. I can take your gifts and do better with them than you can. You can't be trusted with your own gifts and your talents and your power. You know, they're God-given. The divine thought you were, but apparently I know better with my own earthly wisdom. And it's not even wisdom. My earthly knowledge. I think I know what to do better with your gifts than you. This is coming to an end. This energy has reached saturation. It's an energy from the old age with the full moon in Pisces energy. It's a karmic energy that has reached saturation. And not only that, but the Piscean energy is you know, like in its light side, it's all about, you know, spirituality and connecting. And it's actually a beautiful energy when it's in balance. But in its shadow side, which is what it devolved into in this old age, courtesy of us, all of us are responsible for this. It became very narcissistic. And it became the energy of people who thought that they could be God over others and they could take away other people's free will for their own selfish, greedy purposes and imprison them energetically or spiritually in order to do that. That, my loves, is coming to an end. It's coming to an end in how it has been, you know, how it's rolled out in your own life, and it's coming to an end collectively. Right now, your commitment is being tested. So for some of you, we have the first quarter moon, okay? There's something here about this new moon cycle between the new moon in Pisces that's coming up next week, all the way up until the new moon in Aries, where there's about to be some rapid movement and changes that are going to be coming in for you. But from this window of the full moon in Leo up until the new moon in Pisces, you might be being tested as you deal with the backlash of a lot of this. I'm going to be real, I'm going to be honest, but know that it is a backlash. And know, this is really important because people come to me and they ask me how to do certain things like take control over their own energy or break oaths and vows. Know that when you are a divine being walking in divine alignment, your word over yourself is more powerful than what anyone can speak over you outside of source. It's source, him or herself itself. There's no one who has more power and command over your energy than you. That's the truth. If you want to shut shit down, all you have to do is say it. And believe it, and then live like you believe it, and it's done. That's the point. Anything else? A win-win outcome is forecast, full moon in Libra. So we've got Pisces, Virgo, Libra, Aries energy. Full moon in Libra is happening not next full moon, it's a full moon after. That could be significant for some. No, you didn't say that. You said to go into what deck? This pink one. We're going to get some guidance for you, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Some guidance for you in terms of dealing with whatever it is you might be going through right now. Whether it's to do with this situation or just all the fuckery. You're being told to up your nighttime protection work. Up your nighttime protection work. And to bind what binds you. So as a divine being in alignment, you have the authority to loose on the earth and to bind on the earth. Okay? And that is a big responsibility. Like this is what the old age did. It was doing it to you, but this is actually supposed to be for you. So you have the power to bind certain energies and entities that want to bother you, and bind certain spirits that seek to destroy you. There's something about before you go to bed at night being in like a stance of warfare, but not like, you know, it's about placing your energetic barriers and letting these energies know where they stand. And for some of you, the nighttime protection work is there because somebody is specifically attacking you in these hours, okay? And the nighttime protection work is here because there's something to do oftentimes with dream state. With dream state, that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay, so ask questions, even obvious or silly ones. Embrace your curiosity. Okay. So this is about expanding your consciousness and not thinking that anything is, that you need to stop exploring anything. It's like the ability to go deeper into something, or to even ask a question that you don't fully get. Like a lot of the time we're made to feel dumb if we don't know certain things. There's something here that you're being asked to take a look at in that area, especially for some of you if you've been made to feel like you asked too many questions, or like you speak too much, or like you're too mercurial, because I'm seeing this Virgo energy again. It's like break out of that. For some of you, this is a family thing. Like they made you feel this way, like you ask too many questions, or you speak too much, you're too much of something, and you're being asked to take a look at this. And there's something here about this family member, whether it's a sibling or a cousin, wanting to take advantage of knowing that's part of your weakness. Another thing is that you're being told to take one step towards your intention or goal. Cultivate self-commitment. So whatever it is that you're telling yourself that you want to do, making promises to yourself and following through and keeping them, because this energy was coming through very strongly. There's a lot of attack against people having the faith and the hope right now and the energy to pursue their goals. That word goals was coming out very, very specifically all week. I kept pulling it. There's an attack against people being able to pursue their goals. There was an attack against people even being able to access the passion they had for going after their goals. There was an assault against that. And what I'm getting here is there's also like freezer energy trying to keep you stuck and feel like as you go towards your goal, you're like walking through like mud. Break it by making the things you do manageable enough that you can get something done and tick it off the list and honor any commitments you're making to yourself. What other people think about you isn't your business. What do you think about you? So there's something about this family structure that had you playing a role where it's like you had to please them by how you acted. Okay, this father, the sibling, this energy here. But there's also this energy here of someone trying to make you feel insecure and to make you feel almost as if other people don't like you, or like they think poorly of you, or like you can't be liked or you can't be appreciated. That's another thing coming through. So if you are starting to feel that way out of nowhere again, pay attention, because that's a projection. It's being sent to you. You're being told to cut all cords and call back your power. So for some of you, this energy is attacking you also because if it's a family energy especially, there's this emotional tie, there's this cord, and you're being told, even if you have to do this on the daily with this person right now, cut the cord, call your energy back. You don't have to do anything elaborate. You literally can call upon your most benevolent spirit guides and helpers. And if you work with certain archangels, Michael is great for this. Archangel Michael, you can ask them to cut the cords, and then you call all your power back. You call back all your sacred energy. You call back everything and anything that you know they're trying to attack. You call back your confidence. You call back your drive. You call back your focus. You call back your ability to follow through, because this is where I'm seeing this energy attack. Read and research. More concrete information or confirmation is available. So there are things that your guides are showing you, and they're wanting you to research deeper because there are more answers there for you. So again, this is ask questions, even obvious or silly ones. There are sometimes things that might be coming up for you in your day and you don't think anything of it, but it's a message from your guides. And what you're being asked to do is, like, don't think that anything is too small to be a message. You know, if something's coming into your conscious awareness, it's a message. So, like, ask your guides what it is they're saying, or look it up. You know, like, look up, I don't know, if it's an animal, for example, if it's a duck, look up duck. And I like to look up when I'm looking up animals, I like to look up spirit medicine. So I would Google or DuckDuckGo, duck spirit medicine, and go with whatever definition you're being drawn to at that time that speaks to your soul, not necessarily the one that makes logical sense, because what your mind believes is logic isn't always the food that your soul needs. It's not always unlocking the truth of the message that your guides are trying to get across. So long ass reading and downloads, but I kind of owed it to you guys after being away for a while. I hope that this reading, it's 1:55 on the clock, and I just looked at my timer on this video. It was 1:11, 1 hour, 11 minutes and 22 seconds. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful and insightful. If it was, please make sure to hit the like button. If you would like to work with me, please check out my website. It's solarah.info. Please check out my services before coming to me to ask, because everything is listed on my website. And please also, a few things, quick housekeeping. All of my prices are in Great Britain pounds, GBP. So a lot of the time people are sending me the amount in dollars, and it's not the same. So please make sure you're sending it in pounds. That's one thing. Another thing is, I don't do personal readings. People keep on coming to me and asking me for personal readings. I've stated here I don't do personal readings. I don't have personal readings written on my services. I haven't asked the oracle, but even that is stated that it's here to help you on your ascension journey. And I'm saying this because I will not pull cards on other people's energy. I don't do that. I'll do it collectively for messages that my guides are delivering me directly, but I will not. If you come to me asking me about someone else to do with love and all this other stuff, this is not my area of expertise or interest. There are so many other tarot readers that you can go to for love readings, etc. I am here to help you tune into your divinity, your power, and your truth. I'm here to help you fall in love with yourself so that you no longer have to run around wondering how someone feels about you. I'm here to help you connect with your own power and intuition and get back access to all your own gifts. So please don't come to me asking me for readings when I'm here really to mentor. That's what I've chosen to do. I used to do personal readings, and I'll be very honest. The reason I don't do personal readings is that most of the time when a person comes for a personal reading, they want to hear all of this stuff about how somebody loves them or how they're doing this, and etc., etc. And those details, they can be helpful and they have their place, but sometimes people get so lost in that they miss the opportunity to heal. And so they stay stuck in the cycle of going around and around, jumping from one energy in a person to another person with the same energy and not learning the lesson, because instead of doing the healing, they're wanting to know, does so-and-so love me? But the more important question we need to be asking ourselves is, do I love me? You get what I'm saying? So I don't do personal readings. I do mentorship. And as such, I don't really tune into people's energy at this point. I just let my guides tell me what it is that needs to be said to you. Okay? But anyway, it's been a pleasure serving those of you who I have worked with. If you, like I said, you can check me out. You can email me once you decide what it is that you want to do, or if you want to work with me. I don't have a checkout on my website anymore for the simple fact that I want to know who I'm working with. I want to know who I'm exchanging energy with. And yeah, that's it. You can check me out on TikTok, Solarah with an H_speaks. I'm going to start posting mini readings there again too. So I'll do the long ass readings on YouTube, or the long ass downloads and readings, and the shorter, like 5 to 10 minute readings on TikTok occasionally. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend. Until next time, be well.